Hey everyone, and welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a component that honestly might seem kind of small at first glance, but I promise you, it has a massive impact on the user experience of your B4X applications. We're talking about the B4X DaisyCheckbox. You know, this isn't just some basic box you tick. It is absolutely crucial for modernizing your app's UI. So we're going to look closely at exactly how it transforms standard, boring forms into these really sleek, highly customizable interfaces.
But first, I have to ask you a question and be honest with me here. Are your app's checkboxes looking a little tired? Right? We've all seen them, those default native checkboxes that literally look like they belong on a computer from a decade ago. They completely clash with your app's color scheme, they get blurry or don't scale right on high-res screens, and frankly, they just break the immersion of an otherwise beautifully designed app. Well, today we are going to explore the modern solution to this exact problem. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's visual showcase. Step 1. Meet the B4X DaisyCheckbox. Step 2. Sizing and label alignment. Step 3. Variants and component states. And finally, Step 4. Elevation and custom styling.
Section 1. Meet the B4XD checkbox, the foundation of modern UI.
I really want you to completely rethink what a checkbox can do, because this is far more than just a simple true or false toggle. When you drop this component right into your visual designer, you get instant access to an absolutely massive list of properties. We're talking checked and indeterminate states, label positioning, 9 distinct color variants, 5 size options, built-in shadow elevation, and even custom color overrides, the whole shebang. You get all this complete control without having to write hundreds of lines of tedious boilerplate code. It's a real game changer.
Section 2. Sizing and label alignment. Pixel-perfect scaling.
Obviously, a great UI component must fit perfectly into any layout, no matter how much screen real estate you're working with. Notice how beautifully the B4X DaisyCheckbox scales here, going all the way from X small or XS right up to extra large, and it calculates all of this intelligently under the hood. So to put that into perspective, the XS size renders a neat 16-dip square with a 10-point font, while the XL expands to a 32-dip square with a super readable 16-point font. It maintains absolute, crisp perfection at every single step.
And layout flexibility doesn't just stop at size, either. The position property gives you total freedom over where your text sits. You can easily swap the label text. Check out the difference between position start, where it's neatly on the right, versus position end, over on the left. This just makes it incredibly simple to align the element with your other form fields or, accommodate different reading directions for a completely seamless user experience.
Section 3. Variants and component states, injecting color and logic.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where this component starts to truly shine. This is where we inject semantic colors and critical UI logic. Look at the progression here from the standard neutral, primary, and secondary checkboxes on one side to these highly contextual variants on the other. We've got a vibrant info checkbox in bright blue, a warning variant in orange, and an error checkbox in sharp red. These aren't just there to look pretty, they instantly communicate visual meaning to your users without them having to read a single word. But it goes way beyond just color. This thing handles complex state logic natively. Take a look at the indeterminate state right here, that horizontal line. That is the absolute perfect solution for a select all function in a data list where only some of the child items are checked. And for disabled states, the code manages it beautifully by automatically dropping the component's alpha transparency down to 0.2. It immediately and clearly signals to the user that the element cannot be interacted with.
Section 4. Elevation and custom styling, the final polish.
Now for the really fun stuff. These advanced aesthetic touches give you, the developer, ultimate design control. Notice how the shadow property adds this beautiful, dynamic depth to the UI. It starts entirely flat at none, and then the elevation increases smoothly through extra small, medium, and all the way up to 2XL. It quite literally allows you to visually lift the checkbox right off the screen. It's a fantastic trick for drawing the eye to critical fields, like an accept terms box for sure.
But what if those built-in variants just aren't enough for your specific project? Well, look right down here. You have ultimate control with specific color overrides. You aren't locked into just one color per state. For instance, you could design a custom style where the box is a deep indigo when unchecked, but then, bam, it dramatically transforms into a bright orange background with a crisp white checkmark when clicked. Background, border, checkmark colors, you can set them all independently to match your brand perfectly.
So, you might be wondering, how does this actually work in practice?
Well, remember, the B4X DaisyCheckbox is a highly functional B4X component driven by some really robust background code. We use two key public API methods to make the magic happen: update theme and refresh. Whenever you change a property in code, say dynamically switching a checkbox over to an error state, calling these methods forces the component to seamlessly re-resolve its theme styling and apply that exact state to the UI. It handles all that complex drawing and color resolution for you, right in the background.
Which brings us to the end of our visual showcase, and it leaves me with one final question for you. How are you going to style your next application using these tools? Are you going to use subtle shadows for depth? Maybe those vibrant semantic colors for better user feedback? Or are you going to go all out with fully custom overrides to match your brand's unique vibe? The B4XD DaisyCheckbox gives you the power to do it all, seamlessly. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you're leaving inspired to open up your IDE, write some code, and build something beautiful. See you next time.